Man, I'm like, is it just me? Or is every single episode just getting progressively darker? I'm scared to watch episode 5 because I'm just like, what is this episode gonna be? Am I gonna need therapy? Welcome to my safe Gaben, everybody. Thank you for joining me for another review here on the Black Gay Comic Geek channel. We are getting mystical here with this episode of Marvel's What If episode 4. So really quick, if you haven't seen episode 4, Marvel's What If, now's your time, as Fantastic Frankie would say, now it's your time to dip because we got wild spoilers. Speaking of Fantastic Frankie, before we jump into the review, guys, on Tuesday, what is that, September 6th? Hold up, pause, editing. No, the 6th is a Monday. That's also Labor Day. Happy future Labor Day, everybody. But yeah, no, Tuesday, September 7th at 7 p.m. Eastern Standard Time, myself, Ron, and Fantastic Frankie will be going live to go full in deep and discuss spoilers for Shang-Chi and the Legend of the Ten Rings. So we're giving you guys time. If you guys can go to the theater safely, if you're interested in seeing it, we're giving you time. We're giving you guys time to see it. So yeah, come join us. Come join us in the Safe Gaben live to talk about Shang-Chi and the Legend of the Ten Rings. So yeah, hope to see you there on Tuesday, September 7th at 7 p.m. Eastern Standard Time. But yeah, anyway, let's get into this episode. Guys, let me know, what did you think about this episode? Where does this episode rank in terms of your favorite? Like, man, this episode was crazy. And also, if you could do me a favor and hit that like button, it'll really help with the YouTube algorithm. Guys, actually, that just reminded me. Holy crap, like, I think it was yesterday, I finally hit 4,500 subscribers. Holy homosexuality, Robin. Like, I didn't think I'd hit it this fast. I was like, wait, I'm only 10 subscribers away from 4,500. And then literally like the next day, I hit the milestone. I'm already past it now. I think I'm at like 4,510. So like, thank you guys so much. Like, I don't even know what to say. I'm like completely speechless, right? And I'm like spitting at the camera right now. But like, let's keep this momentum going. Thank you guys so much for watching my videos. Thank you guys so much for hitting the like button. Thank you guys so much for commenting. Like right before I started recording this video, I went back and started going back through some old comments because I try to respond to almost everybody or basically everybody. And so I've been backed up on a lot of comments. So I was just going back and responding to comments, and sometimes it tells me who's been subscribed to my channel and how long they've been subscribed to my channel. So I've been seeing, you know, a lot of familiar names and things like that, and seeing like, oh, this person's been subscribed for 2 years, this person's been subscribed for 11 months, 12 months, 4 months. So either way, whether you subscribed to me yesterday or 2 years ago when I first started my channel, thank you so much for each and every single one of you. Even if you don't watch all my videos every single time, the fact that you watch when you can and comment when you can, because you know, life, we all have life, we all got bills to pay, we all got jobs and everything like that. So I appreciate when you can watch my videos and when you can comment. Like, thank you guys so much for getting me to the point that I'm even past 4,500 subscribers already. So let's keep this momentum going. So yeah, like, comment, interact for the algorithm. But yeah, you guys didn't click this video to hear me gush and all this other stuff. Let's talk about episode 4 of What If, titled What If Doctor Strange Lost His Heart instead of his hands? Which basically is another way of saying, what if this was a fridging episode for Doctor Strange? This was Doctor Strange's fridging momentum. And that's just like a small thing that I thought about while I was watching this movie. It didn't bother me, but then I saw somebody else talk about it on TikTok. I was like, oh, so I guess I wasn't the only one that thought this. Now, with that said, I really enjoyed this episode. I thought this episode was super dark. And honestly, it wasn't until like the halfway point of this episode that I really started to get into it, because the first half of this episode, like, I felt almost the same way that I felt about episode 1 with Peggy Carter. I was like, this is literally the same beats from the Doctor Strange movie. Like, we're just reliving this all over again. And I'm just like, okay, like, can we just get to it? Like, moving, like, come on, dude, like, get to the point. So I feel like on that aspect, this episode was a little bit of a slog. But then once we got to the, like, the difference of this episode, the fact that he was reliving, you actually get to the moment of him reliving Christine's death and him trying to change it over and over and over again, which actually reminds me of an episode of Charmed. I think that was season 6, where Phoebe basically did the same thing. She was trying to stop and prevent somebody's death, and she was doing it and reliving it over and over and over again and trying to do different scenarios, despite being told that no matter what she did, she couldn't change. Like, it's literally the same episode of Charmed. But this episode also goes to show and kind of proves, because there's been a lot of questioning and things like that on the internet with regards to Doctor Strange being involved in opening up the multiverse in Spider-Man No Way Home. And people are asking like, oh, is Doctor Strange out of character? Is that really Doctor Strange? Maybe it's Mephisto. Because they're just like, Doctor Strange wouldn't do something this irresponsible. Like, why would he do this? Especially after being warned against doing the spell. And it's like, well, this episode definitely goes to show even further that, like, no, Doctor Strange is still very arrogant. He even says it in this episode at the end when he confronts himself. Well, he just basically says, like, his desire to want to bring Christine back is more than just about his love for her. It's about his need to want to fix things. It's the arrogance of that. Well, Peter Parker, somebody that is also an Avenger, kind of like him, and somebody that also saved his life, so somebody that he might feel he owes a favor to, and is coming to him trying to fix a problem of the world knowing his secret identity. Well, of course his arrogance and his need to want to fix things will supersede his caution. Sure, Wong warned him against doing the spell, but I'm like, the Ancient One literally came back from the dead to warn him about trying to bring Christine back, and he didn't listen. And also, he didn't even listen to his other self when he confronted the two halves of Doctor Strange confronted each other, and the good half was telling the bad half, or the misguided half, not to do the spell, and he still didn't listen. So it goes to show that what he did in No Way Home is completely in line with his character. But yeah, now that I'm talking about it, part of me, I was like, wow, I feel like I was going to have more to say about this episode considering how much I did enjoy it. But I'm like, yeah, I don't really have much else to say about besides I did enjoy it, and it does go to show how arrogant Doctor Strange is. But yeah, I really would say that I enjoyed the fight scene between the two Doctor Stranges. And this episode was actually the first time we actually got to see Uatu the Watcher kind of interfere in the sense that he interacted with this version of Doctor Strange and had a whole conversation with him. So I feel like this is doing nothing but foreshadowing that Uatu is going to interfere probably by the end of this season, more than likely, because that's Uatu's thing in the comics. The Watcher's modus operandi is to just observe and not to interfere. But Uatu always steps in when it comes to major events. Like, for example, his first time intervening in the comics is with the coming of Galactus, and he warned the Fantastic Four that Galactus was coming. Or what they could be doing, because they did say that the What If series is canon to the MCU, it just takes place in different universes. What they could be doing is having Uatu, or planting seeds that Uatu might eventually intervene, but saving the character for the actual live action MCU. And the first time we see him intervene, I don't know, it could be something with regards to Kang, or it could be like in the comics, because we know Fantastic Four is coming. It could be him actually warning them about the coming of Galactus, which I'm just like, I hope they're not gonna do or introduce Galactus in the very first Fantastic Four movie. I feel like that's too quick. But with that said, we've already seen the race of the Watchers in live action already in Guardians of the Galaxy 2, where they had that moment where Stan Lee was actually having a conversation with them. And I think I read somewhere that they explained like Stan Lee's cameos through all the movies were the Watchers sending him to intervene or interact and basically report to him all of their findings and things like that. I think, or that he himself is a Watcher. But either way, I would love to see Uatu in live action. But yeah, I had a fun time with this episode. I still think episode 3 is still my favorite. And I would say so yeah, as I'm talking this through right now, I would say right now my rankings for these episodes are still 3, 2, 4, and 1. Like, as much as I like this episode, I can't put this over the Chadwick Boseman T'Challa episode, because yeah, that just goes without saying. And then plus, like, as much as I enjoyed this episode, I did just mention, like, I felt like the first half I was just like, okay, get to it. Like, I'm feeling bored because it's literally the same beats from the movie, and I didn't feel that about episode 3, and I didn't feel that way about episode 2. But what I will say is, like, if Marvel's smart, they could go anywhere and do this concept of what if for years, but my biggest fear and concern is like, because they can go really dark places with this concept, and yes, this episode was dark, but they could go even darker. And I do remember reading that they did have an episode planned for this season of what if Spider-Man actually became a man spider, and they were told that they weren't allowed to do it because it was too dark and it was body horror and all this other stuff. And I'm like, did they not see the 90s cartoon? They had Peter Parker turning into a spider way back even then. And it's like, if they were able to do it back then in the 90s, why can't they do it now? Because it's Disney, that's why. But I do know a Marvel Zombies episode is coming eventually, and I'm just like, how dark are they going to get with that? Probably not that dark, because the comic it was written by Robert Kirkman, who, if you guys know, Robert Kirkman is the creator of The Walking Dead, and The Walking Dead is known for some darkness, so they definitely aren't going to go that dark with the Marvel Zombies episode. But yeah, anyway, but now you know where I stand regarding this episode of my ranking, but the question is, where do you guys stand for this episode in your ranking? Is it your favorite episode? Is your least favorite episode? Does it fall in the middle for you? Let me know down in the comment section below. Also, if you can't hit that thumbs up button and like this video to really help out with the channel, and this is one of your first time checking out one of my videos, please check out the other videos on my channel. And if you like what you see, please subscribe for more and hit that bell notification button so you're alerted every single time I post a new video, and tell your friends, families, and neighbors about my channel to help me continue to grow. And as always, I will catch you guys next time.